I could probably give some tips of how I play Gnash. At least once a day I need to give some tips about how I do the tricks that I do sometimes with Gnash. So the mindset that I have when you're using the first real man is that you should probably need to prioritize being on the ground. At least that is how I play. I like to be a lot like in the ground or close to the ground with my jumps, because I feel that I have more advantages, more weapon options when I play like this. Oh man, I'm getting a few lag spikes. Yep. Hello, Snacks! Hello, welcome to the stream. So many lag spikes. So Milo gonna go watch some movies and play some other stuff later. See you, man. Thank you so much for standing by, Milo. Have a fantastic day. So yeah, being close to the ground, I prioritize speed. Oh, so much lag. Raji, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. So much lag. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening to the servers. Oh, you're lagging. I believe that I'm lagging also. All right. See ya, man. See ya. Thank you for the games. All right. So we'll go to ranked. Let me check out on Brawlmans if I have someone on the EU server. There are 3 people that are on the EU server, and on the North American server there is no one playing on the North American server. Maybe everybody is on school, or maybe everybody is doing work or something like that. So I will go to tourney mode. Nope, I need to go to this one, test features, maps, selection, new 1v1, and I will go with Gnash because that's the legend that I love. So yeah, I will go over a little over the things that I prioritize while playing with Gnash. Also, I need to fight against Botbar because Botbar is the standard 5 armor legend. If you want to test things out with the numbers and stuff, I recommend you to do it with Botbar because this is the middle ground. So yeah, the things that I prioritize when I play with Gnash is on the ground. Is this move right here, neutral light. It is a great move to space out your opponent. It is not the best move to fight against the guns and axe, but against almost everything else, lance also is not the best thing to fight against. But everything else, like except guns, axe, and lance, this move is going to be great. It has a great priority. It does a great deal of damage. As you can see, almost 20 points of damage. Yes, almost 20 points of damage. It is a great way to follow it up with some other stuff. If you play this game for a long time, if you do this move, the neutral light, and then you do a side air, you oftentimes are going to get a hit, because people, when they get hit, they like to jump and reposition themselves into the back of your opponent. So it is a great move to counter that. You're going to do a neutral light and you will follow it up with a side air, and you oftentimes will get a hit. That is something that I do really often. But when you get the idea on your head that your opponent is not going to jump, a great way to build up a little bit more damage and in a consistent way is to throw down a side signature. And this can be done with other legends too that have a spear, or that have like Nax, for example, with Barasa. If you do a neutral light and then you follow it up with a side signature, you're going to get a hit almost every time. And look at this, boom. If he is not paying attention, you did right there basically like 45 points of damage. And in the early game, that is a lot. That is a really great way to build up the damage. Also, with the new mechanic, you can hit your opponent with the neutral light, and then you can immediately dodge at full speed, and you can follow it up with something else. For example, if I do a neutral light, I could just do a a full dodge in your position in which you made the hit, and you can do a down air, a down light, and you can do a side air, and you will build a lot of damage in that way if your opponent doesn't do anything. It is not a true combo, I should say, because none of this is true combos. This is just strings. If you do a chase dodge, the mechanic that it was introduced last week. So you do this, and you can follow it up with a neutral light, and then you can do another string to see where your opponent is moving. So I will set my opponent into white health. You can do ta, ta, and ta, and that was a great damage builder from the get-go. So that is something that you can do with Spear. It is really consistent. Another thing that you can do with the Spear is when your opponent is on white or light yellow health, you can do this move and this move and this move. And it's a great way to build up the damage. As you can see, it was 52 points of damage, and it was a true combo even on Gnash. Oops, I messed that up. Like that. So that is also a way to build up the damage. Another trick that I have with Gnash is that oftentimes when people get hit by anything, they like to jump in this area right here, and it goes around on all play levels, like on diamond, on plat, on gold, on everything. If you hit somebody, they're most likely going to jump. And if they're just hovering around this area, you have this move right here that it does not so much damage, and it doesn't have too much force to think. Now that I think about it, it does only 18 points of damage, but it can't hit your opponent that is right in front of you, and it hits your opponent in this area right here. And look, this is a great hitbox. This is a great hitbox to shield yourself. If you time this correctly and you practice a lot against other players, you will see that this move is a great way to kill opponents. They love to be on this area right here, because this is the danger zone when somebody is fighting against Gnash. If you are aware that your opponent is going to dodge in this direction, they're going to get trapped by the hitbox, because it's a really large area. And you can also, if you feel comfortable that your opponent is going to dodge in, you can still hit your opponent because this move hits people that are just in front of you. As you can see, it does 17.5 damage. It doesn't do a great deal of damage, but you don't do it for the damage. You do it for the interrupts and to get your opponent out of position. The other move that I have with the spear that I do really often is that people are really conscious and aware of all the moves that you do, when you're moving in the game. If you do anything, they will dodge in one way or another, and sometimes people are just waiting for you to do anything to dodge in and do an attack, And this setup right here is the perfect way in which you can use the neutral, the down heavy with gravity cancel into down heavy with the spear. As you can see, it does a decent enough range of hitbox that if you do it in the ground, you lose a lot of area. You lose all this area right here in which people try to approach. So if you jump and do a gravity cancel into down heavy, you will cover this area right here. And oftentimes people like to dodge in this area right here. When you do anything, they will just dodge in, and they will get punished by this move. The problem with this move, and if you land the hit, is that your opponent is probably going to bounce on the stage, and then they will go flying in some direction. This move does 27 points of damage, 27.5, and it doesn't have the best force behind it. You don't need to use this move thinking about killing your opponent, because it's not so likely that it is going to be the case. You really need to use this move thinking that you're going to build up those 7.5 damage. I do it in those occasions, like people will start to jump in, they will try to see an opening, they will see that I'm doing something, and they will get hit by this move. Because the advantage is that this move right here, it is really slow, so people think that they're going to be able to dodge in and hit me, but they're going to be punished by the signature. So there is the place in which I do it, and look, if I do it, oh, what did you do that, Bodvar? If I do it all more times, like, you will see that my opponent is going to start bouncing in the stage. Now, that was not, well, I have never done the signature there, but apparently I got a kill. So yeah, that's the things that I use with the spear. Those are my mindset. Also, when I'm on the air, I try to use a lot of this move. It has a great priority, it does decent enough damage, it doesn't have any force behind it. That is a little bit sad, but it's a great move to protect yourself from some air attacks. I used a lot of cider. You will see a lot of people using cider. Just cider for the most part. There are a lot of people that just use this, and I think that you lose a lot of the kit that you have with a spear, at least on the ground. But this is a decent enough move to do often, and it is a really good move to kill your opponent. But you really need to build a lot of damage doing this move. I oftentimes rely more a little bit with the signatures to kill my opponents, but when I can't do that, I go for the cider and I try to spam that a little bit. So what other move? Oh, you also have the down air. It is a great move. As you can see, 16 points of damage. It is a great way to like, when you see your opponent is on the ground and they want to do something, you throw down a down air and you will be like really safe from anything if you try to do this. You oftentimes don't get punished by doing this move. Oftentimes this is the right move to do, but not a lot of people do it. This move is seen most likely in the high levels of Diamond. There are a lot of players that try to use a lot of the down air, and I really encourage you to do that. It is a great move. So those are the moves. Oh, and then the recovery. I don't really have any setup. Try not to use it so often in the ledge, because you will get punished. This move is not so safe when you're trying to be on the ledge, like you're trying to get back. Oftentimes other ground pounds will have better priority and they will be able to punish you if you do the recovery. So be aware that you really need to be like a little bit distant of your opponent when you're doing this. It is safer to do this move when your opponent is on arm. This is a great move to use, but in other occasions, sometimes your opponent are going to be thinking about dodging in the ground, and you will be able to do this move right here. As you can look, I did the ground pound and I got hit anyway, even though it is like a really large hitbox. But it is so easy to get punished by doing this move. If you land into the ground with this move, you will be in trouble. Try to not go full in with the ground pound and touch this stage, because it is a great deal of recovery frames that you need to eat. Like, it is not the safest thing to do. What I usually do is like do a ground pound and then like I try to not to touch the ground, just like dodge in another direction, bailed out, if I don't get the hit, because if they dodge in the ground, you will be in trouble, Mister. You will get punished. So let's see, what can I do now with the hammer? So what I really like to use with hammer, I mean the mindset that I have is like trying to stay in the back of my opponent, like dodge in and try to stay in the back always, like dodge and cider, because the hitbox of the cider is like really generous. It is also a great way to build damage. It does a ton of damage. It has a great force behind it. This will be oftentimes the move that you use to kill your opponent. What else? So yes, cider a lot. And this move, I don't see this move used a lot, but this move has a great hitbox and it has a great priority. It beats almost anything in the game. If somebody's trying to do a ground pound in like any hammer legend, if you throw down this move, you will counter that most likely. The problem is that it is like not fast enough for some ground pounds, and you really need to be like precise. And if you whiff this move, you are gonna be in real trouble. So this is something that takes some time to get used to, but it's a great way to build also damage. Excuse me. What else? There are a lot of players that use also a lot of the down air. The down air is a great move, has also great priority. It enables you to use this thing to follow it up with some neutral lights, neutral airs, I should say. And it's a great way to send your opponent flying. Not really much to say about it. It is a great move. Try use it often, but I also spend a lot of times in the ground with my legend. I use not so much the stomp because I find that it's not so consistent, and I'm really never sure if I land the stomp because I have latency. At the moment that I realize that I whip this move, I get punished. You know, I don't find that a stomp is so useful right now. Although I have seen some players that use this move and that are better than me, but I oftentimes with my latency I hear that I hit this move in my opponent, but in reality I will get a rollback and they will be just punishing me. So I am not so keen on doing this move. But the move that I do use a lot is the side light. This move has a great hitbox. It can catch people that are just above the ground. It has a great force. I mean, not force, damage. And I mean, oftentimes you will not kill somebody with that move, but it does 20 points of damage. It is a really good move. It has a really great hitbox. It has the forward momentum. I use that move a lot. It is safe. It beats a lot of things. Brian Savvy 25, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. So if you're using hammer, this move will beat a lot of things. If you see me playing, you will see that I use this move a lot. Not so much this move right here. This move is not so consistent. You feel confident enough, you can do the usual combos with the stomp. You can do a stomp into side light when your opponent is on white health. You can do a stomp into neutral light with gravity cancel into neutral light, and that will build up a lot of damage. The thing is that the frames in which you will do that are really tight. I have never been hit by this move before, but it is there, you know. That goes to tell you the difficulty of using the stomp. It is a gravity cancel into neutral light. You can. I don't use the signatures of Gnash too much when I do the stomp, but there are some other characters that benefit a lot of the signatures that they have, like Scarlet, for example, when they use the uh, when they use the neutral signature with Scarlet in the stomp, like you will oftentimes get a hit. You can do a stomp into, I mean, stomp into gravity cancel into side heavy, and that is a more generous like hitbox. But again, it's like really hard to do in a real fight. In a real fight, you don't think too often about doing this stuff. This is more the show of things that you can do. But if your opponent is not paying attention, you know, go for it. It will work fine. Hello, I'm Daniel. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. So all right. So let's go to the signatures. All right. The neutral light. I mean, don't tell BMG. I believe that they're not watching, but it got buffed for I don't know how, but it got buffed. I realized this the other day when I was playing around with the hammer. Is that now I can hit people more often when they're on the ground. Like before the patch, like it was really hard to hit people in when they're like in the ground. Well, look at this. I am hitting him. I mean, not like there, but I'm hitting just like at this point right here. I'm hitting my opponent just in a vertical position, and I believe that they don't know that he got buffed. This was not the case. A few before the patch, I did not got a hit before, and I believe that this is because they changed the hardbox. But don't tell BMG, don't tell them, because I love the fact that I can hit now my opponent when they're dodge in my position. Although if you're too close like this, you will not hit them. But you have the benefit like of, up until this position that is a really considerable size. You will be able to hit them. It is so good. It is so good. Like now this move got buffed, and I don't see too many people using it. But I'm here to tell you a secret. That this move is secretly a really great move. If you're in a platform, like on the floor and staring, and you're in the middle of the stage, you can hit your opponent and they will go down. It is a really good move. Don't tell BMG that that move got buffed. That was not the case. But don't tell BMG, please. Alright, so when you should use that move? I often do this move, like the neutral signature with the hammer, when I just got a hit on my opponent with an oftentimes like on a neutral light. If I do a neutral light, I will follow it up with this move right here. And you might ask why, because this does not connect with my opponent, and I will tell you that it is because like the same principle as the spear. If you do one of these moves like to prevent, you do this move to prevent the movement of your opponent, like because they will often jump, reposition themselves in the back of your character. So if you land this move right here, they will do a jump, and you will be able to just punish them in this position. Like you will cover a great area if you do this move right here when you're starting the game, when your opponent is on up until orange health. Like it is a great way to shield yourself from the movement of your opponent, and then that is really the meat of Gnash. You can really have like a shield mentality with your signatures, and you can prevent almost anything with the signatures of Gnash. Like they're just a great way to build up damage safely, and thus great against the playstyles that are more aggressive. Now I forgot to tell one thing, like you have now the new chase dodge mechanic, in which you can chase your opponent after you land a hit. So now that enables a lot of other combos with hammer. Like you can do like now a side light into a neutral and into a chase dodge and into a neutral light. Because if I don't do that, I will do side light. I mean that works with white hell, but I do now a side light, and I will not be able to land the neutral light. I will be falling short. But if I do a chase dodge, I will be able to land that. I mean that was not the move that I wanted to do. Just like that, I will do a chase dodge right here, and just like that, really fast. It is not a combo. It is just a string. You will be able to take advantage if your opponent is not paying attention, like most of the stuff right here. So if I wanted to be a little bit faster and I wanted to frame trap my opponent, I will do a neutral light, and then I will do a chase dodge, and then I will do immediately a neutral light, and I will be able to land this really fast, you know. That is something that you can do with the new mechanic, with the chase dodge, and you can build up damage in that way. It is not safe, it is not consistent yet, because I haven't been able to test it, but it is going to be part of the future in my opinion. So it's a good thing that you know about this new tech right now. And also the thing that I did just there is like I did a neutral light, and then I jump immediately, and then I didn't jump in the same way like this. I jump with a dodge. That is also something that you can do, and you can control it a little bit more. Alright, so let's go with this thing, with another signature of Gnash that I use really often. So the down heavy, if you if you place yourself with Gnash in like this position right here, and you do a down heavy with Gnash, you will have a great way to ledge guard your opponent in a really safe way. Look at the hitbox right here, it goes completely out of the stage. I don't know why they haven't fixed that, but I'm really happy that they haven't, because when I use the down heavy with Gnash, oftentimes people like to hover around this area right here, and they wait for almost like 2 jumps, like they will do this thing like 2 times, and they will go back to the stage. If you use the down heavy, you will find a great hitbox to exploit, because it gets completely out of the stage, and it is a really safe way to kill your opponent. Even if you don't land it, like if you are a little bit ahead, you will still be able to have like a great hitbox, like wall of hitbox, that they will not be likely able to dodge, and they will get punished. And even though this way of doing this signature is not so optimal, because you oftentimes don't get the force that you want to give your opponent, at the early game it is going to be a really good way to build up a little bit more damage, because as you can see right here, you can follow it up immediately with a side light. And now that we have the chase dodge, we can extend that a little bit more if your opponent is not paying attention. So let's try that out. Oops, one more time. I haven't tested this actually, but I'm curious to see how it goes. Nope, that was not the perfect aim. Boom, boom. No, that was not the best position for me. Boom, 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 boom. I was not aware of all my combos. Alright, I can't do it so quickly, and I can do a chase dodge immediately, because the cooldown of the gravity cancel is 3 seconds, so I can't follow it up with a chase dodge if I land something. So So maybe I could throw down a signature. Boom, boom. That is something that you can do if your opponent is not paying attention. It is really fast. And if you're double not up until plat or diamond, it is most likely going to be the case that they're not going to be paying attention when you do this move right here. So try to do that, try to practice the positioning. I've been playing this game for so long that I know how to use that move. Alright, so I cover this move right here. That you can ledge guard because your opponent are going to jump a lot in this area right here, and I cover up this move that you need to do it when you landed a hit on your opponent. Also, you can do a recovery into the stage like this, but it is really rare to see this move used in this occasion because oftentimes people are like being camping. They're going to camp like in this area, or they're just not really near this place right here. But you can do it if your opponent, of course, is not paying attention. The factor of surprise is something that Gnash is really good at. So if you are really aware of the things and of your options of how to move and how to exploit the signatures of Gnash, you will be able to find a lot of success. I believe that Gnash is one of the best legends because it enables you to fight in a way that is so unique. The most unique legend in this game, in my opinion, is Gnash. That's why I have so much fun playing with him. It is a totally unique playstyle that you can develop if you follow some of the tips that I have. So I also have one more thing to say about I'm not sure. With the side heavy with Gnash, you have this move right here, and I don't really have any setup for this. The best way to use this move is just when you are backing away, like Absent did at the earlier time in the stream today, just backing away and then just throw down one of these to greet your opponent, because it is relatively fast. It has a great hitbox, and it has a great force behind it. It doesn't have too much damage, but it is a really good kill move if you're close to your opponent, and even if your opponent is just trying to touch the ground, and if he's like around this area right here, you will be able to catch him and you will be able to kill him. Not so much if your opponent is like dodging like here and you do a side sig, you will not be able to catch him because the hitbox, as you can see, is like really horizontal and really close to the ground. Also, with the spear, you can use to ledge guard in the same way that you ledge guard with the hammer. You can throw down a signature when your opponent is trying to get back into the stage, and you will also, surprisingly, I've been doing this recently, like on the couple of months ago. No, on the last month, I started using this move in this way, and I've been getting a lot of kills, even on great players like EXO, you know. So it is something that you can take in mind. It is really safe when your opponent is trying to get back into the stage, and you can then follow it up with one of these. And this move is really great. It has a great priority, surprisingly enough, when people are getting back into the stage. I use this also all the time. So yeah, guys, these have been one of the tips that, I mean, this is basically how I played with Gnash. This is the mindset that I have. These are the things that go in my head when I play with Gnash, like unconsciously now, but these are the reasons why I do it. I believe that I went in depth on all the things that I do. I believe that I didn't left anything out. One thing that I'm not really that good at doing is ledge guarding. I'm really conservative doing the ledge guard. I oftentimes throw my weapon, and I throw my weapon and then I follow it up with a ground pound. I mean, I'm really simplistic in that way. I throw my weapon and then I do this. It will work really well up until Diamond. And Diamond, when I fight against someone that I know it is Diamond, I just prefer to stay in the ground, because if I whiffed in any way, and it has happened to me so often, if I whiffed in any way, I will be in a really precarious position, you know. When you're on the ledge with Gnash, you don't have too many options to get back into the stage. You don't have too many options to outrange your opponent in a really safe way. If I play against someone that has Katars, they are just faster than me in these occasions. So I prefer not to enable my opponent to have a better advantage at me, so I don't play too much on this area. I don't play too much on the ledge. I'm not so good at playing on the ledge. I am considered that I'm good in the ground, like when I'm really close, and oftentimes I get my kills when I'm in the ground. But when I see that my opponent is not having the best movement, when I see that my opponent is not having the best dodges, and I feel confident that I have a lead, I go for some ground pounds to, you know, cover the area. I died. Alright, so I use the ground pound to cover this area right here. Like, if I don't position myself with the first one, I oftentimes follow it up with a jump and then another one, like at this. Like, you know, throw this one, and then a dodge, and you get back into the stage. Like, I don't commit it too often to the ground pounds. The thing that I don't use that much is this type of ground pound when I am fighting against an axe player or a sword player or almost anything. Like, this ground pound is not so good for the ledge, but it is sometimes really good when your opponent is unarmed. Surprisingly enough, unarmed doesn't have the best priority in this scenario when I'm doing this type of ground pound and these type of stages. Like, they will get hit by the blades and they will not have the priority, because the recovery that unarmed has, it is really tight at in a pointy. You really need to be more precise to land a hit against somebody that has a spear. So if you're fighting against an unarmed player, this move is probably a safer bet. Yeah, this is everything. I don't use so much throw setups unless I do this one. Like, if you can see, it is a true combo, but this is the only one that I use. I don't have any other throw combo at my disposal. I'm not good at unarmed. I'm not the best. I believe that is not required to be good at this game. You can pretty much win with the tips that I give you, but if you have other things that you want to implement into your playstyle, you will be a much more knowledgeable player than me. That's the word. That is a mouthful. Anything else? What I oftentimes also know with the mines and bombs is that it's better to throw them just below you, because people always will dodge forward when they're close to you. And also, sometimes a trick that I have is that you sometimes, when you're not confident with your unarmed gameplay like me, if you throw a mine, people will back away, they will get away from you, and that will give you sometimes enough time to wait for a weapon spawn, and then you will be able to catch the weapon. Sometimes you don't need to use the mine to kill your opponent and to have the perfect setup. Sometimes you can use the mine or a bomb to have it like a deterrent weapon, like just scare your opponent that you have a mine to wait for your weapon. And that is something that I use often. I don't use the mind sometimes to kill my opponent, just to tell my opponent, hey, wait, this is a danger zone because I can kill you, I can do damage with my mind, I'm taking my time, but in reality I'm just waiting for the weapon because when I have a weapon I have a better chance to kill my opponent. So that is something that you can use, that is a trick that I don't see too many players doing. And what else? What else? I believe that is all the things that I need to say right now. This is all the tricks that I have. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting something. I mean, of course, if you have a dope scheme like me, like that is going to make your opponent more susceptible to lose because you're going to look awesome. I'm not sure what else I can give you. I'm not sure what other advice I can give you. This is all the things that I go over my mind. Sometimes with this type of playstyle, I must say, they're being really close to the ground, like it will get you really far away with your reading skills because you really need to be like good at reading your opponent when you use this type of playstyle. It is not so reliant on being fast. You don't really need to have the best connection to use the playstyle that I have. I play with 2 bars and I can still like pretty much play and get into diamond with this playstyle, and it is really fun. You know, you feel so smart when you land some signatures in your opponent and they don't know what to do. You know, I oftentimes have so much fun with Gnash. It is the best legend for me. But yeah, guys, these are all the things that I know. And there is a combo that I would love to master, that you can use this thing right here. I mean, I will do it again. Oh no, it is not consistent because of the position. Oh no, I was too slow. Play with 2 bars, then randomly die for no reason. The thing is that I naturally play with 2 bars, but I don't have like lag spikes to that really makes the experience so laggy, and I don't get so many teleports. I just get one consistent, you know. Oh, so close. I just get one consistent input delay, and that is the thing that I have. I don't have too much lag in the sense that I have lag spikes. I don't get too many teleports. I just have a lot of latency. I have 200 milliseconds on the EU server, and with that I reach diamond. With this legend at least, I have 150 milliseconds of delay on the US server. Oh yes. And I don't have anything better than that. That is all that is the best thing that I have. They also need to make a mini game in which you get points for playing Pogo on the heads of the legends, like this. Like, what is the maximum that I can reach? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I didn't have any more jumps. I need to make a mini game like that. How many Pongo jumps can you make on the heads of your least favorite legend? So yeah, this is all the things that I can say about my playstyle. Maybe I will make a highlight. It will be a really huge highlight. But yeah, I believe that I'm going to end the stream right now. It has been really great to stream today. I really enjoy this game a lot, and I'm really excited about the new legend that they're going to announce tomorrow. I believe it is going to be great. And also, yes, they need to make more mini games. Maybe specific mini games for specific weapons. Maybe with the sword they can get a game going on, a game type of mini game on the ledge. Like try not to get too many people onto the stage, and you will need to do ground pounds and then siders, downers and stuff like that. Awesome stream, mate. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure if Snacks is going to stream today because he oftentimes streams at this time. Maybe EXO is streaming. He also streams daily. He is one of the best players in the world. Snacks, he is streaming. Oh yes, it's so good that he's streaming. Alright guys, he's an amazing streamer. He's a great community member. I really recommend you to go out and watch him, give him a follow, let him know that I sent you. He is just great. He's just right here. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I will make a highlight of this to my Twitch channel, and maybe I will upload this to YouTube. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.